More advertising now, and 115 million rand is the reported spend for this year's John Lewis Christmas ad. John Lewis is a major UK department store. It's a painstaking animation depicting a sad bear that always misses Christmas because he's hibernating. His friend, a hare, gives him a present in the shape of an alarm clock that wakes him up just in time to see the big decorated tree in the winter sunshine. The full version is on our Facebook page. A little later on in our programme, we'll go behind the scenes of another British retailer's Christmas ad. The John Lewis ad, by the way, has proved to be an online sensation, and we think it hits all the right festive season buttons. Now, every year I publish a book called The Annual. It's a hardcover review of the brand communications year. Part of the initiative is an award called the Agency's Agency of the Year, where the industry itself votes for the ad shop it thinks has made the most impact. The award is made at a major advertising conference supported by ENCA and ETV. The winner this year is the wholly owned South African advertising agency, Joe Public.
I've got a mentor who once said, money is the oxygen of the business, but you don't wake up in the morning thinking you must breathe. And the same with awards. So award is a byproduct, just like money is a byproduct. So it's always nice to get the recognition, but it's not what we work for.
It's the commitment to the staff and their philosophy of growth, which is something you don't see very often in this industry.
Creativity is celebrated at Joe Public, and big ideas here are given great freedom. And I think that's what other agencies see, is that freedom to be really, really creative.
It's really because the agency has the most amazing people. I think the people are down to earth. I think we're all centered around one purpose, and that is to really serve our clients.
We really live the growth philosophy and exponential growth, whether it's the growth of our clients, whether it's the growth of our people.
I think for us, winning Agency's Agency of the Year is such a fitting tribute to an agency that really prides itself on being an independent agency.
It's testament to, I think, what Pepe and Gareth also stands for. They're real people, they're down to earth, they're quite authentic. And I think it also attracts that kind of mindset. So I think the people at Joe are real, they are down to earth.
They're hands-on management, they're very close to their clients, very passionate about the client's business.
Joe Public as an agency has a heart that no job is too small, no job is too big. Everybody just climbs in. We're part of one big team.
To Gareth and to Pepe, I just want to say congratulations. Thanks for being so inspiring. Thanks for bringing all of us on this journey with you.
Peps, Papa G, I think congratulations, it's an amazing award. And I think what you guys have achieved here is just testimony to what you guys put out 15, 16 years ago when you started this business, and you've kept to yourself and you've kept true to yourself, and I think that's amazing. So, well done.
Well done.
Gareth, Pepe, well done. Awesome to be part of Joe. We're ecstatic and it's awesome. Thanks. Whoop, whoop.
Well, from a big agency win to hopefully a winning campaign, the global FMCG company Rickard Benckiser's brand Durex has partnered with the MTV Staying Alive Foundation to launch a global campaign for young people to revolutionize their own sex education and ultimately take action to help shape a world free of HIV. It's a 3-year program, I'm told, where you want to get young people to revolutionize their own sex education. That is a grand and noble goal. What exactly does it mean?
It is a big thing to talk about and a big feat that we want to try to achieve. I think what it basically means for us is that we live in a country where we, in general, are quite inhibited about talking about sex and sex education. We come from a country where we know through global sex surveys that we've done as a business that South Africa and actually numerous countries around the world are very inhibited when they come to this sort of subject. So what we've tended to do is we wanted to join with MTV and the Staying Alive Foundation to change what people's perceptions of sex, to get them talking about it, to get them to be much more open, and that's what someone like me basically comes from.
All right, we can talk about the conversation in just a moment, but the link with MTV, why is that important?
So essentially MTV and the Staying Alive Foundation have been working for the past 15 years in order to get sex education, sexual health, sexual well-being into the top of mind with the youth and with the generations that are coming up now. They try to find creative ways of doing it. You know, as we know, your sexual education that you get in school, the much more physical side of things is now no longer adept to a world that we live in where people have access to media 24 hours a day, where they can access things that aren't taught in schools, and they are lots of questions are raised.
So what you're hoping to do is inject a relevant, engaging tone into the conversation.
Absolutely.
The most difficult thing in the world is to seed an authentic conversation. How do you plan to do that?
Firstly, with Durex as a brand, it's quite a unique brand in the aspect that it is a genuinely cool brand, and it can be very fun, yet at the same time it can be very serious and highly responsible. We're able to leverage our cool status in order to generate or to move into a more serious conversation, and I think that's what we've done as well together with MTV. I think without a doubt MTV is seen amongst the youth as a cool station, a cool platform that is for the youth, basically. It's not somebody who's dictating to them how they should
so
feel.
So Bevan, what do you do? Do you just chuck a couple of topics out and hope that people will pick it up and talk about it? It's more complicated.
It's much more than that. So I mean, it is a massive global campaign. It's run through all the countries where Reckitt Benckiser and Durex is available. So I think currently it's been activated in over I think close to 50 countries at this point in time, and together with MTV, the activations will start now in more earnest after they've had the MTV Music Awards, through all of your digital content like your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Weibos in China, and your different platforms in Russia, whatever you might get. So Durex happens to have some of the biggest platforms digitally across the world. So in South Africa, I think we have just about the 10th biggest Facebook page in the country. So through that, we're able to not only see the topic, but to generate meaningful conversation around those topics. So we have a highly engaged audience that we're able to deal with.
Again, one of the goals is ultimately a world free from HIV. With something like this as big and as bold as it is, do you set yourself targets?
We do. We definitely set ourselves targets. So, I mean, the ultimate target would be HIV-free generation. I mean, that is a massive
Hopefully
target.
in our lifetime, one doubts it, though.
It is. I mean, absolutely. It is a huge optimistic target to set ourselves with. We run a global sex survey, which we do every 2 years, and through that it's run across all the countries that Durex is available in. And from that, we not only track usage patterns or behavioral patterns, but also how those patterns are changing. So attitudes towards sex, attitudes towards safe sex. So through the different conversations that we have, through the different campaigns we're going to have, and this is probably one of the biggest global campaigns that Durex will run over a 3-year period, we'll be able to track whether it is actually making a change.
But ultimately, Durex is also involved in this because you want to sell more condoms, don't you?
For sure, absolutely. If people are having sex, if they're having safe sex and healthy sex, then it benefits us as a brand. I mean, that goes without saying. So we have a number of different programs also in South Africa. We have a program called Coveted, which we do with the schools. It's government endorsed, which goes into high schools and not only does sexual education, but it's more than that. It does sexual education in a very different way, where it touches on points that is really relevant to these students. And also we have a digital platform that we can leave behind where they can ask questions called the Connected Buddy. So they can go onto the website and they can ask questions that are extremely sensitive, extremely personal, and get an answer from a psychologist.
Certainly a story of a brand doing good work. Bevan Lewis from Reckitt Benckiser, thank you very much.
Sure.
Coming up on Mags on Media, another big British Christmas ad, and we'll show you a Christmas exhibition made entirely of chocolate.
News that moves. ENCA.com.